what stood out to you about the offense?
Well, I was excited about us scoring early. Excited about a lot of people getting touches, which is huge, which is good for us. Excited about how we played the first half. I thought we got a really good start. Excited about, fired about Jaylen playing well. Felt like he seemed comfortable and relaxed out there. And I thought we played physical. We had too many penalties, obviously, but I thought we were very physical, which is huge for us.
Go ahead, Henry.
What did you make of those holding penalties?
The refs called them, so they're holding penalties. No, there is it's still. If you create, like Daryl always says, that don't create greatness. Don't get us in that position. So we got to have better hands and move our feet better. So if they're called, they're called.
Looking at the amount that Jaylen ran, is that kind of where you expect it to be, and how do you balance keeping him healthy?
I should know this.
I think he had 8.
Yeah, somewhere in the ballpark. Could be. I think every game's different. I think it's set up for some moments, sometimes certain moments, it's situational sometimes. But I think it's always going to be part of his game.
How do you balance, using him as a runner while also keeping him healthy?
Where do you think? Crazy part is sometimes you take more hits when you're in the pocket. He took 2 probably hits that we got to take off of him in the pocket. Usually when you're on the run, you got to have the ability to kind of protect yourself, but kind of slither through sometimes. The ones in the pocket become the tougher ones. So I think it's you got to balance a combination of the hits he takes. Hopefully, kind of minimize those, and hopefully minimize the pocket ones. So he's going to take some when he goes.
What were your thoughts on Cam and his productivity?
It was great. It was good out all those guys. It's fun to see those guys come. You never know what happens that first game, especially new guys. And we had a good number of them out there who do a lot of good things. But it was fun to see Cam. It's fun to see Cam with the yards after catch. That's obviously what we need when you're throwing those kind of short routes and so on to make those plays into a 4-yard gain into a touchdown. So I was excited for Cam. We knew he had it. He was excited to see it.
Those plays that he scored on that RPO read out of the backfield, what makes him so effective in that type of role?
The guys like him, a guy like Luke could have, you probably use him all the time back there for those guys that are, I'd say slithery, but can get by a D lineman if there's there and maintain speed and then outflank the linebacker. So you want guys that can run, but have that running, almost have like a little bit of a running back instinct / mentality in them with a wide receiver type speed. That was always the key to it. But being able to avoid that first level so you don't get bumped off and get the linebackers catch up to you.
For Jaylen.
Seemed like some of your big plays came from great tight end blocking, wide receiver blocking. What do you think about those?
It was really fun. We got called I think once or twice out there, but it was fun. It's like you see those, because that's all that matters out there is like for those plays to go to 20, it's got to be the next level. So the tight ends and receivers did a great job. And like I told you before, a week or 2 ago, that's a selfless group. Now include the tight ends, just they care a lot about each other. It's fun watching guys get as excited about making a block for their teammate as they are if they would have caught it. So I thought they did a great job, and we need to keep that going.
How much of a focus was it for Jaylen to get back to that short to intermediate throws over the middle?
I think it's always been part of it. Maybe we hadn't used it as much in the past, I guess. But I guess maybe a quarterback guy, you always like to see where you can get some off and soft type things potentially, where you get things going a little bit, get guys in a good, people always say a flow or a rhythm. So I think you kind of got him going.
DK showed a lot of different looks up front. As an offensive guy, like what does that do to you from a preparation standpoint when you have to prepare for stuff?
It does. It's like what DK probably say about our offense. Like not many things are going to surprise him after practice. And I told our guy to go, not many blitz packages or unique things are going to surprise us. We still made a mistake or 2 on one of them, but we were prepared for it. But nothing's ever going to be shocked to a kid like, oh, I haven't seen that. I go, we've seen most of it. That helped us out a lot.
A lot of different guys got to play in the fourth quarter. What can that do for those players if they got a taste of game action?
I think it's there's nothing like a game rep. And the only part of the game I was frustrated in was the fourth quarter when we didn't get that 1 first down, which would have been early in the fourth quarter. Maybe score early and even get those guys to play more. I was frustrated not because we didn't score, but because hope to get those guys even more reps because as a coach how hard those guys work. And it gives guys like in my position, Cole and Isaiah more reps. It gives Johnny and Stu more reps, and all the receiver guys, Tate, and all Bryce, and all those guys more reps. It's great that they got some. I wish they would have got more. And the way the game kind of turned out, you never know how it's going to happen. You never know how those games happen. So you get those moments. You just hope you can maximize them for the young men.
What stands out to you about Wagner?
Game 2. I got next week. I'm gonna say game 3. I think what stands out for me is it's their first game.
Yeah.
So you don't have any tape on it besides last year, and they have new coordinators and new position guys. So that's the unique part about it. So it's like it's that uncomfortableness of guy. Like, you know what they do, and you see them last year on tape, and you study them, but you're like, you don't know. It's always fun to have that one. It's like Fresno, so it's like having 2 back-to-back games. And I know those guys, me being at those different levels too, they're going to play their tails off. It's like a big-time experience for them, obviously. It's our kind of stadium, so we got to be ready to go.
Short week. How'd the players bounce back yesterday?
That was good. It was good. I think it was a good, obviously, you're never as sore after winning as you are after a loss. So I thought it was good. And I think most guys got in that 55, 58 play range potentially offensively. So I think it wasn't a ton. So I think they felt good. They bounced back. I think they're excited about step 2.
But how important was it to bounce back considering all the excitement for week 1, the new booth?
Really excited. I think that's a good thing sometimes because I hate to say what Nick Saban used to say about whatever, rat poison or whatever he said to that stuff, like, don't listen to how good you are or you think people are telling you. It doesn't matter. This is the game. So I think what's good for us as coaches is there's no chance. It was almost a less than 24-hour experience before they were back on the practice field. So I think that was huge. It's like you always got the 24-hour rule. We had like a 23.5-hour rule because we're back in faster because we're already meeting before then to talk about when you get prepared. So everyone, we're preparing like we would any game.
When you're in position to start rolling through the number 2s or number 3s and stuff like that, how do you weigh getting the number 2s prepared versus maybe getting a guy who's a number 3 a little bit more action because you might not get that later?
You don't. It's hard to sometimes. Sometimes you hope those guys got. I always tell guys, I go, mental rep, physical rep, you have to count them all the same in your brain cells. For kids, I go, you don't know. I can't get the 2 or the 3 at any position, and their reps to the 1, let alone the 3 or 4. So you got to be prepared because if your number does get called, we're going to keep rolling with what we do. So I think the big thing is those kids have done a really good job mentally preparing too, and watching videotapes, being prepared in case those moments come.
Emmanuel Henderson kind of drew that defensive pass penalty, and it looked like Fresno State was struggling to kind of guard him in single coverage. How valuable is that to have a play like that where you can, get multiple players at defend him?
Yeah, no, it helps. It helps when the defense knows you can stretch the field because they got to prepare for it. Because now they're going to say, are they going to put one guy on them? You're like, well, now they got to play a safety over top, which then takes another receiver open, or it takes one more guy out of the box. So I think it's always been a big part of any explosive offense to be able to have a guy or 2 that can stretch the field and blow the top off, because then the defense has to realize that at any moment it could go.
Do you have any personal goals for your guys against Wagner? Anything you hope to see or improve on?
Penalties. Minimize penalties. That's a big thing. Finish. I didn't think we finished great. I thought we won. I was excited. Don't get me wrong. I was really excited. But like I said, that fourth quarter, that 4th and 1, finish that game and just you had them where they're. We always talk like can you break someone's will? Can you finish them? Yeah. And it's like, gosh, we could have had the moment. So penalties are huge. We had the 1 snap issue when the ball hit Doug going across. So those little things, that to me is a big thing, is penalties, because we were way too many times in 1st and 20s, and hence that produces a 2 for 10 on 3rd down type experience. Now we were good on 4th down. I thought we did a good job of bouncing back a lot, but I don't always want to have to bounce back from 1st and 18. But that's the biggest thing, is penalties, keeping us on track.
A lot of the tight ends had a lot of play. What did you see out of that tight end room?
It was fun. What I was hoping to see a bunch of versatility. I think Carson's getting probably more reps, I think, in the rep count. But I was excited about all the versatility they showed, being able to get in the backfield, being able to be in a tight end position, being able to line up with the receivers. I'm excited about that group.
You guys went for it a couple times on 4th down.
Yeah.
What's that process like? Do you find out on 1st down, like, hey, this could be a 4 down situation? At what point
You have
do
an
that
idea,
conversation?
off the rep bat. Like with the new analytic types, a lot of times it's right off the, like drive starts. That doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Sure.
But you got some parameters potentially, and then you're just always prepared for it. So what it does is it produces you in practice to have those calls ready to go. Like, back in the day, it was like, I went for it once, maybe twice. And now it's like you never know how many times. So you have to have this 4th down package ready to go.
And as a play caller, how does it help you on 3rd down, knowing, hey,
It does.
I get to call this play knowing that I could potentially
Yeah,
have
it gives you some flexibility. Sometimes it also, I've always told people this, I go, this is a joke, but I'm being a math major, like analytics. Like I was joking when I was at Lakeland, we went for it 17 times we want to get the Whitewater game back in the day because we had to. So I guess I was way ahead of analytics before they started. But what you got to be careful at is always trying to play for a number and not playing for the first down or for third down. So that's the one little balancing act people have sometimes, like, because the numbers, if they tell you, hey, you got this much distance, well, some people, then you're always trying to play for that number. Well, I always want, is you got the balancing act, yeah, sometimes, but also you want to play for to get a first down on third down. So that's where I think that's where it's been really fun knowing, being comfortable with Lance, knowing Lance so well, kind of idea what's happening, and being able to have that balance of, yeah, going for also sometimes getting in a situation where you have a chance to go for it.